Hello, hello, hello. Do you notice anything different? I cut my hair. I cut my hair off. It was like 5 or 6 inches. I have been wanting to do this for a while and I love it. I think it's so cute. It's so bouncy. It's so fun. It's so easy. So yeah, major life update there. I did cut all of my hair off. Love it. As usual, if you are new here, welcome. If you have been here before, welcome back. So it is the end of week 3 of 75 Hard. Time for a little bit of review and results for us. Honestly, I really feel super settled in 75 Hard now. If you watch my week 1 and week 2 review videos, week 1 was really tough for me. Week 2, I really started to feel more settled. Now, I'm not gonna say it's like easy, but I don't find it to be all that difficult anymore. And I really think that the main driver behind that is that I put so much emphasis in the beginning on figuring out the routine that worked for me. And now I have my routine and I know what I'm doing every day. It takes the stress off of it. It's an easy flow for me. So I will say that saying that, there is a caveat to that, right? So I started 75 Hard and I already lived a very active lifestyle. I already ate really well. Like, starting 75 Hard was not a complete overhaul of my life or routine. It was really just amplifying my routine and like fine-tuning my routine and just becoming very focused on my routine, but it wasn't a complete overhaul of my life. So I could totally understand how if you really were not very active before, if you really were not super focused on a diet before, if you just weren't making that an emphasis of your day-to-day structure of your schedule or your routine, I could see how this would really take a couple weeks to sink your teeth into and get comfortable with and feel like you have your feet underneath you. But I do think that I was lucky because I wasn't starting from ground zero. I already worked out 1 good workout a day. I already was pretty super conscious of everything that, I was eating. And I thought that cutting out sugar was going to be a really, really tough one for me because I had such a sweet tooth before 75 Hard started. It's really why I wanted to put such an emphasis on cutting out refined sugar. But I will say that I'm honestly not finding that all too difficult either. I'm not really having cravings. I've always said that when it comes to snacking or sweets or anything like that, if I don't have it around me, I'm okay. The issue is when I get it in front of me. And I think that really taking a step, that's part of the reason why I love that 75 Hard is 75 days long, because it's different than 30 days, right? Where it's easy to change a behavior for 30 days and then really easy to fall back into previous behaviors afterwards. But I'm really hoping that since this is 75 days long, that it's just going to actually change my behavior. Like, it's just going to actually become my new routine, my new lifestyle, my new habits. And so I think that, I was talking to my friend that I'm doing 75 Hard with. I was talking to her last night about this, and I've realized that whether it be alcohol, whether it be nicotine, whether it be sweets, I do a lot better with just 100% cutout than I do with, say, moderation, right? So if I, have sweets in here, if I'm staring at cookies every single day, I'm gonna have a really hard time not eating cookies. If I have a vape sitting in front of me, just staring at me all day long and no one else around me to hold me accountable, if I go hit it, it's gonna be really hard for me to not hit it. So I have found that cold turkey 100% cutting out something is definitely, for me, the best way for me to change or alter bad habits. And I kind of didn't know that before. I think that's why cutting out nicotine was so hard for me for so many years, because I kept trying the moderation method. I would only hit it when I was out socially. I wouldn't buy one for myself and have it at home. I would only hit it in these situations and not these situations. And then at the end of the day, the overarching desire would always win. And I've just found that when it comes to me really wanting to stop or change something, cold turkey 100% cut out, at least for the beginning and for a while after, is the best way for me personally to really alter some of these strong behaviors that I have inside of me. And I don't think I really came to that realization until like just recently doing 75 Hard. So if nothing else, I think that's a really good takeaway for me from all of this. I am 100% capable of changing my behaviors and my habits. I know what my triggers can be. I know what maybe some of my faults are when it comes to changing my behaviors and habits. And I do think that these are not like a universal, what triggers you and what motivates you to fall off the wagon or pick up a bad habit or revert back to behaviors that you're trying to break. It may be different for you, but for me, I've just found that I do better with 100% cold turkey cut out. Right? And I want to get better and focus on moderation. I do think moderation is the name of the game in a lot of things in life. And so I do want to get to a point where I really am working on that kind of like personal restraint and stuff like that. But for right now, I'm really, really loving the way that I'm feeling. I went out last night to bar and just had my soda water with my lime. I wasn't even tempted to like come home and like make any late night sweet snack. Not that I have anything to do that with, but like that's usually what my behaviors are. And I didn't feel any of those temptations. So it was nice. It was nice. 3 weeks in, I'm feeling really settled in my routine. I'm feeling really settled in the things that I'm cutting back and the new habits that I'm trying to form, the habits that I'm trying to break. I'm feeling really good. So I also want to talk about my workouts because this past week, I am obsessed with my workouts this past week. I just feel really good in the gym. I'm not nearly as strong as I want to be. My body isn't defined as I want it to be, but I'm feeling myself again in the gym, and that's a really good feeling. The gym can be super intimidating for a lot of people. I know that. I mean, I have spent so much of my adult life in the gym that I'm very comfortable in the gym. I know my way around the gym. I know the lingo. I know the etiquette. I know all of that. So like the gym isn't necessarily an intimidating place for me, but I can 100% understand why it would be an intimidating place for people, especially people that are new to it or just haven't spent a lot of time in it. But even for me, as someone that has spent so much time in the gym, picking it back up again, it took me a little while to kind of get my feet underneath me and be like, okay, like I'm comfortable here. Like I feel like I belong here. I feel like people aren't like looking at me like, what is she doing? Like, it just took me a minute, but this past week I was doing some pretty intense like lifting workouts, obviously really low weight to begin with, but I'm just excited to kind of like I've lit that fire within me again, that like weight training, I want to be strong kind of fire within me again. The last couple of years of my life, I've spoken about my issue with my eating disorder. Feel free to go check out that My Eating Disorder in Me video. I really talk a lot about my history with that there. But the last couple of years, I've definitely struggled with that off and on. And with that comes sometimes this just desire to be thin and long and just like this, I don't know, this certain body type. And with this new confidence that I've been building within the last year and this self-respect and self-worth, like I really want to build my body to be as strong as I'm starting to feel on the inside about myself. And that is a really good feeling. And I feel like I'm really getting there in my workouts. So it was just a really good week in the gym. Like a really good week in the gym, a really good workout can make you feel so good about yourself. And I almost forgot that feeling. So I'm excited to take on these upcoming weeks and like really kind of focus my energy there and see what I can do strength-wise and body-wise and just like overall confidence-wise. Like I'm excited for all of that. So As I've mentioned in previous videos, if you are not, feel free to follow me on TikTok. I am posting all of my workouts that I'm doing. I show you the exact workouts that I'm doing, the splits that I'm doing, the reps, the weight, like all of that. I'm showing all of that on my TikTok. So be sure to follow me on there. I will link it below. But yeah, week 3, I think it was a really good week. I feel much calmer. I feel much settled. I just feel like I'm in a groove. I feel like I'm finding a sweet spot. So it's a good feeling. So yeah, as always, thank you guys so much for tuning in, for following me along on this journey. Be sure to check out my week 4 prep video. Be sure to check out my week 1 and 2 videos about 75 hard. Also linked in the description are my week 1, 2, and 3 75 hard guides, where I go over my nutrition, my fitness plans, my thought processes, tips and tricks and things that I've learned along the way. I include all of that in my free 75 hard guides. So be sure to check those out, linked below. And thank you guys so much. I will see you back next time.